Welcome to the Funeral Nation Web Show, the best effing web show. Welcome everybody to Funeral Nation episode 30, the Big 3-0. I'm Ryan Thogmartin, that is Jeff, the Funeral Commander Harbison, and our show is now powered by the Fast Funding Group. Shout out to those boys. Check out the banner above our heads. Jeff, the Big 3-0. What do you think, man?
Hey, Ryan, 30 shows. Think about that, right? And it's consistent every week. We're not missing it. We've been really blessed on this platform to share relevant information, great guests, and do a lot of introductions. We're going to talk about that in a minute. And, of course, we're powered by the Fast Funding Group. That gives us a huge boost. Anyway, on today's show for the next 20 minutes or so, we're going to do an interview with Mr. Dan Assad. He has a big announcement. The spotlight on the funeral director comes from Texas, and the W.T.F says, hey, why not pick a fight in the cemetery? This is going to be ugly.
It's going to be blurry.
Hey, man, let me just go ahead and say the buzz, okay?
Right,
I'm going to interject here. The buzz is that the Funeral Nation show, if you look back on our history, we introduced and brought parting.com first. We introduced and brought that Care Cap and At Need came together, right? We also brought that At Need, Care Cap, and the Fast Funding Group came out, a big announcement. We're the announcement folks because today is going to be another great big one.
That's right. It's where it happens, right here on the Funeral Nation show. We have been fortunate enough that these companies are coming to us and saying, hey, we got to get out there. How can we work with you and get out this announcement? But, you know, it has been a big buzz, and it's something that you and I don't pay attention to enough. It's really brought to our attention more when we are out in crowds of people, the amount of people that watch the show. And, I mean, you're known as the commander, not even Jeff anymore. So we're building brands. We're focusing on the F and hustle and the change and the brand building. And it's been a great platform. In 30 episodes, we're halfway through year number 1 almost. So, I'm really excited for what's coming up. In a few weeks, we're going to be doing something pretty special at the Texas Funeral Directors Association show. So
that's right.
Just a little sneak preview. We won't talk any more about it, but
don't say anything.
So pretty psyched. Jeff, this buzz segment. No, that's your line. I'm sorry, Jeff. Go for it.
Hey, it's okay. You know what? I'm glad that you're starting to take command, young man. I'm happy. Something happens to me. There you go. Right. I know. It's almost as old as you are. Simple Funeral Payment Plan is powered by Care Cap, and they brought us that segment. These guys literally are the bomb, okay? When I say the bomb, if you have accounts receivable, which almost everyone in the country does at the funeral home, you haven't been paid for your funeral yet. Let's roll that promo.
The funeral isn't over if you haven't been paid. Contact us at simplefuneralpaymentplan.com to find out how to become a $0 accounts receivable funeral home.
All right, Jeff, another big announcement today. Who is our guest?
Ryan, our guest today is none other than the wicked smart king of consultants, Mr. Dan Assad. Let's roll that interview.
Welcome, Dan. Where's the funeral commander?
Say what?
Hold on. Wait a second. There must be something going on.
Hello.
There he is.
How about that? Well, big news, right? You got something to tell everybody? I'm very happy to announce that Jeff has joined the Foresight team as our director of marketing.
Yeah. Well, the good part is, though, I love this place. They've got a place for me to...
Hey. What? No smoking. No smoke. What? No smoking.
Crap. Okay. Well, I read the handbook, and I'm good to go here then, right?
I'm going to reread that handbook.
Well, it's too late now, buddy. I signed up earlier. So, anyway, I guess the cat's out of the bag now. So, I get to interview you in person, right in front of each other. So, first things first, what are your thoughts about what we're going to do? And since I can't smoke a cigar, added to your staff, what do you have in store that we're going to do kind of cool this year?
You know, Jeff, the great thing about what we're doing is, as a consulting firm, we always have to keep our services realistic and practical. And part of what I'm very excited that you can do is help us into the real 21st century. So we've got a number of things on our marketing lined up and a few new services that I'm very excited about us getting into overdrive. And I think that's going to be something very, very exciting for our clients.
Dan, please tell us a little about you and the Foresight Company, what you do, how long it's been around, that sort of thing.
Jeff, I started working with business owners in financial and in accounting, all sorts of financial planning issues about 42 years ago. That after a very short career in the music business where I did little things like told Hall & Oates they'd never make a penny in their entire career. Wow. So after that great decision, I had to find another way of making a living. About 32 years ago, I tripped across the funeral profession and it adopted me and I adopted it. So really what we do here is we try to take common business practices and translate them to funeral speak. Funeral directors being service and caregiving professionals oftentimes sacrifice a lot of common business practices. Mm-hmm. So we try to find a way to get them to do the common business practices without feeling guilty.
Got it.
Good stuff. Well, Dan, you've been around the profession, funeral and cemetery side for some time. What are some of the challenges you see facing us in the profession?
You know, the challenges of the past, Ryan, dealt with obviously changing from a merchandise model where somebody would come in, buy a casket and get all the services, to being a itemized service model where somebody gets to pick and choose what services they want. And obviously with the advent of more and more cremation selection, we're dealing with less and less dealings with families generating the revenue from the old-fashioned way. The challenge for the future is going to be totally different. The future is going to be personnel. Mm-hmm. You know, SCI can't grow unless they have people to run those businesses. Even the small mom and pop business that has multiple locations can't grow unless they have somebody able and willing to manage those businesses and work within those businesses. And our licensing structure is all screwed up. Our educational structure is focused on supporting the licensing.
Yeah.
All that is based on a 1960s business model that doesn't exist anymore.
Wow. Well, you're absolutely right. And that's what's interesting is, you well know, I've been about the business of doing business. Now I get to learn from the Zen master, the general.
Well, which am I, the general or Zen master?
You're kind of everything, you know. Right now, since you're signing, you know, a check coming to me, you can be whatever you want to, you know. You're Captain Hook probably today before it's over with. I recently attended the Foresight Company's boot camp, and I was really impressed of the platform of getting to the basics in business. And we don't do that. As a funeral home owner, I think we spend a lot of time with our head down trying to do the business, but we're not of the business. And so besides boot camp, what else does the Foresight Companies offer as far as basic training programs, things like human resources?
Yeah, boot camp is our big one. It really is like an MBA for funeral service within 3 days. We have a program we call Cemetery Impossible, which is kind of like boot camp, except for cemeterians. We do programs on HR. And the program that really is my ministry to give back to this profession is aftercare and outreach program.
Excellent. I'm glad to see that we're in the ministry. You heard it first here. In the ministry, a lot of them thought he was the devil, but I don't believe that.
Well, Dan, you've got your hands full, obviously, with the commander sitting next to you and now housed under your office roof there. So any special plans for projects in the future, social media, expanding, you know, what you're doing now with him in-house?
You know, Ryan, obviously the ability to market multi-generationally is becoming more and more obvious. I addressed the OGR National Convention the other day as the keynote speaker. And one of the things that they were talking about was the old way of marketing, which was every Tuesday afternoon you showed up at Rotary.
Yeah.
Every Sunday morning you showed up at church. But in multi-generational marketing, which is a critical part of our future, those Rotary and church marketing efforts, they're really the minority of your efforts for the future.
Absolutely.
In closing, we're going to have to get back to work. I've got a lot of stuff that you have me to do. By the way, I've got latrine duty the first week. I don't know how that worked out. But anyway.
Be thankful we're not having you use your own toothbrush.
Been there, done that one too.
Sure.
Y'all, this is going to be a piece of work in this office. I'm not sure if this one's big enough to have the two of us in here, so we may be expanding soon just for one person coming in. If you could wave a magic wand, we're going to close up here and fix one thing in our industries combined, funeral cemetery, what would it be?
It's got to be the licensure. 23 states, you have to be a licensed embalmer in order to be a funeral director. We need to have people that can meet with families. There is so much great talent out there. There are retired social workers. There are retired ministers, not necessarily who want to preach the pulpit or a gospel or any particular religious tone, but they really want to serve families. And that's what a funeral arrangement's got to be about. It's not that an embalmer is not a good person, but it's a different skill set. It's more scientific. And the ability to make arrangements is not about science. It's about the living. It's about dealing with the people and understanding their fears that they're going to go through over these 3 or 4 days.
Interesting you say that. What came to mind when I was listening to it is you could have a master chef that works in the kitchen, but he's nowhere a maitre d' or great waiter.
Yeah.
2 different skill sets. But anyway, this is show 30, another big launch, another piece, new life for me. Funeral Commander, always be here, and so will Funeral Nation. So this interview will end up, and we'll kind of get going the rest of the show. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Well, Jeff, that was a great interview segment. It's cool to see you in your new habitat. And what's it like chewing on a cigar versus smoking a cigar?
I know I'm not really sure, but I'm going to work it out. Certainly, I'm going to have to find some kind of cigar lounge or something and a sponsorship because this just
There you go. There you go. Well, Jeff, the interview segment was brought to us by Memory Care by AP Laser. Roll that promo.
This effing segment was brought to you by Memory Care, powered by AP Laser. Memory Care is a life story etched forever. For more information, visit aplaser.com.
Jeff, tell us about our spotlight on a funeral director. Who are we shining on today?
Yeah, as you know, that we like to shine positive stories and spotlight on funeral directors and making a difference in their communities and our profession. This week, we shine a spotlight on Zach Carnley of Emerald Hills Funeral Home in Kennedale, Texas. Zach served a gentleman whose wife and him met online a few years back. She was in Canada, and because of their constant communication, she decided to take the risk of moving to the States and marrying a man she'd only chatted with. Kind of cool story. Upon her death, though, she had no family. He had no family, so they became each other's everything. The arrangement conference was just Zach and the man with a lot of stories. Zach said they laughed and might have even cried a bit, finishing off a pot of coffee. And Zach was just listening to him about one person in his life and how much his wife had meant to him. He talked about how he hated her potato salad and ate it to keep her from getting upset. That sounds kind of big. But he also kept coming back to his delicious cake that they both loved, and it was called Better Than Sex Cake. So Zach decided to bake 2 of them at his house and tell the story at the service as to why this cake was being served. There was no clergy, so Zach took over the duties and was able to give a really personalized service about him, his wife, and the life that they shared. This is a perfect example of listening and creating a memory. It's just a matter of paying attention. Hats off to you, Zach, down there in Texas. I believe we're going to see you in Texas next month. And thank you for your baking skills and the spotlights on you, champ. Well done.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, that's as always, Jeff, our spotlight segment, it's, really the home run of the show, really showing the good that's happening in the profession. But then we always follow that up with our What the Funeral segment. WTF segment where we take a humorous look at our industry. And this is something you're definitely going to be talking about Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And Jeff, I think we could maybe title this one "When the Shirts Come Off in the Cemetery."
I don't even know what to say here. Apparently, somebody showed up that shouldn't have showed up. Somebody said something they shouldn't have said. But this is a graphic example of, hey, you know what? We need to just love each other a little more.
That's right. I mean, but this, in all actuality, is a pretty real reality for a lot of funeral homes. I know I've been in the vault business on a couple services where some unwanted people made an appearance. So as wild and crazy as this is, it still is a bit of reality and what funeral directors have to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, this makes Family Feud look kind of boring. And by the way, if you look just to the far left, there's some guy there holding flowers. I don't know if that's or not.
she must have tossed the bouquet to the wrong person.
Yeah, baby, just chill out now.
That's right. Well, let's just say this took some creative editing from our editor too. We can't show the uncut version, I guess.
Yeah, we got to kind of do a little bleep out here just because we young audiences.
Well, Jeff, this WTF segment, I'm proud to say, was sponsored by Disrupt Media and the Disrupt You Show. Roll that promo.
At Disrupt Media, we're a social media content agency that focuses on storytelling for funeral companies. We use real stories to build creative strategies that achieve actual business goals. Want to learn more? Visit disruptmedia.co.
Well, this wraps up episode 30, however this is going to be backwards some way. Episode 30 in the books. What are we looking at for next week, Jeff?
Next week's episode, we may even go overseas. I'm doing some work on that. And we always will have a spotlight and certainly a fresh WTF. I don't know if fresh is the right word. Maybe new is the best way to go.
That's right. Well, folks, this is episode Big 30. We couldn't be more excited about the success the show is having, and it's all due to our F-inners out there, Funeral Nation, spreading our message and downloading the videos, sharing them. Please make sure you're engaging with us on our social channels, facebook.com/Funeral Nation TV, at Funeral Nation TV on Twitter, and as always, our website, funeralnation.tv. Jeff, this takes away, I can't say that the cigar is shortened because the cigar was never lit.
I mean, seriously, this will be a job for me to work on, but we'll get there. I promise you.
And the glass, is the glass empty? No, because this is...
I'm still good though.
No, what this is this means it's taken 30 episodes for you to actually have work that needs to be done after the show, so you can't finish the glass.
You know what? There's a little point, but be careful. I don't need that getting out here now.
All right, folks. Until next week, have a great effing week.
Out here.